Niall Gibbons, CEO of Tourism Ireland, good morning.
Good morning, Mary.
It's probably hard to quantify the impact of COVID-19 on tourism. Has it been carnage?
There's probably no words to describe the decimation and devastation that's been felt by the industry. We've got off to a good start in January, February, but no one expected in March that we'd be sitting here in December having the same conversations. We genuinely thought that we'd be back in business for the summer. So we've been out doing a lot of international market research, keeping an eye on consumer sentiment, when people might travel again. And there's no doubt through our fifth wave of research that we carried out, that was released yesterday, that holidaymakers are still planning and dreaming of coming, by the way. The future does look bright. There is hope on the horizon. But obviously lower rates of COVID-19 and a vaccine will be the most influential factors to encourage travel over the coming months.
And your job is, because you are responsible for bringing the tourist into this country. Your colleagues in Fáilte Ireland talking, it's in the Irish Times this morning, about a potential wave of insolvency. So the product that the visitor will get when they come here is really important. You've got to protect what we have.
Absolutely, and our colleagues in Fáilte Ireland work very closely with us and have supported the industry hugely along with the government over the last number of months. But when you lose 5 billion of your turnover in a year, despite the heroic efforts that have been made in terms of VAT reductions, wave supports, continuity grants, there's never enough to go around, unfortunately. So it's tough during the winter because the industry typically fattens up in the summer for a lean winter, but they've had no summer and a lean winter coming up. So unfortunately, people who have got weak balance sheets are going to struggle more than those who have perhaps protected their balance sheets in the good years of 2015 to 19.
We've worked through tough times before coming out of the recession, probably never something like this though. You say sentiment is good, people want to get back to travel, and we had news earlier of the rollout of the Pfizer vaccine in the UK. But how do we get international travel back up and running again? Do you favour something like an immunity passport to enter a country?
There's mixed news in relation to immunity passports. I know, for example, countries like Australia and New Zealand looking very closely at it. Countries that depend on long-haul travel will certainly have a greater interest. I think the key thing for somewhere like Ireland, and I talked to the head of the vaccination committee last week, is that they report to the government on the 11th of December, and a speedy rollout of the vaccine and a safe rollout is the most important thing. In relation to passports, whatever is done, it's important that it's done, certainly at least on a European-wide basis. But I think that's something that the jury is out on right now.
So, when you look forward to next year, do you anticipate, with a vaccine rollout, a slow build-up back to tourism? Because people will still have to heed all the advices around social distancing and so on. And perhaps, do you sense in that sentiment you're looking at a reluctance, even much and all as people might want to travel, a reluctance to return to travelling in any numbers?
I think high rates of COVID infection are definitely a major barrier to travel. But I think if we manage all our behaviours, pay attention to the advice that's out there from a medical perspective, get a safe rollout of the vaccine, we could perhaps see international travel start to restore in Q2 of next year, and we could be in a good position to save the summer season. I think we have to remain optimistic. We can't throw in the towel. There's 325,000 jobs dependent on the sector across the whole island of Ireland. It's an important part of the peace process, an awful lot to fight for, so to speak. So I think we all have to work together, get all the shoulders behind the wheel. There are 20,000 small and medium-sized enterprises on the line, and I think the news is that there is hope on the horizon in relation to 2021. Certainly a choppy half of the first half of the year, but certainly hope for the second half.
All right, Niall Gibbons, CEO of Tourism Ireland, thank you.